I have to say, when I started this work, I knew nothing about what Bapuji had written, what he had thought. I had not read anything written by him.
You haven't done anything?
No, I had only read his autobiography.
Okay.
But when I started my work, I started reading up what he had written on constructive
But nobody in your family said...
Nobody. My father did. Of all the people, that's why it always comes back to my father. The person who... I had not grown up, neither me or my brother. I can only speak for the two of us. I can't speak for my cousins. We did not grow up with anybody giving us a kind of a lecture or a talk on Bapuji, on what he said, on what he thought, on social issues, on economic issues. We had no idea. So even, for example, and we grew up without ever having heard anything negative about anyone. We didn't hear any negative comments on anybody. If in my grandmother's house they spoke about Sardar Patel or Pandit Nehru, it was as family members, family friends. It wasn't as the Prime Minister, Home Minister, or that Anna had been the Governor General, or that Mountbatten had been. It was all as I would be
matter of fact.
Very family. It was like a family. So like when my mother was talking about Bapuji being a family person, he extended the concept of joint family to everyone around him. So he was really a householder to everyone who lived around him.
I just love that statement. I can't imagine me seeing Gandhiji as a householder.
Yes. So so this is, anyway, all of this is now also, as I'm talking, layers of things being added. These are all realizations that have come over the years. It's not initially. But my father was the first person to talk to me about Bapuji's ideas of social equality and economic independence. My father was, and he was. I don't know why. I don't know how we started talking on this subject. I don't remember what prompted it. I think he was giving a lecture somewhere, and I happened to come across his draft, or he was writing, and then he just started, and he told, and that's the first time that I actually thought about this subject. I hadn't even thought about it. Anyway, when I started working, I started reading what Bapuji had written, the little bit that I could find. Yes, my uncle had written the book on Rajaji by then, Rajmohan Gandhi, So I had read, so that's the first time that I read a book or read something which was sort of academic.
Right.
About, and that also about Rajaji, not about Gandhi. But so anyway, so that's, I read his autobiography, and that's it. And then, but when you work in a certain area, and this is true not of me, it's true of almost everyone who does their work at a certain level, whether it's education or children or grassroots or developmental or anything, filmmaking, anything. At some point, your path and Bapuji's, Gandhiji's path cross. There is no doubt about it. It will cross. It is up to you to realize that this is the point of intersection. Because Gandhiji's life, from what I have understood, was really a life of a spiritual quest.
True.
He didn't say that about him. From what I can understand, what I've read, I don't think he's used those words for himself. But it was all about his own spirituality. Finding himself. And trying to see where this very abstract idea of, why he's here on this planet, why is, we are all souls going through this human experience. And why is it that we are here?
Right.
And trying to adapt that very abstract thought into a practical lifestyle.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said.
Thank you. That's how I think about him.
Oh, it's
and I think of
true
him.
what you're saying.
having come, sort of trying to understand him, because I cannot understand him. I've asked my uncles, I've asked my mother. Unfortunately, my grandmother passed away. I was too young to have these ideas. I would have asked her. But my grandmother's mother, whom I just idolized.
She was, how was she? She was the daughter-in-law.
She was Bapuji's daughter-in-law and Anna's youngest daughter, Rajaji's youngest daughter. So for me, I don't know how Gandhi did what he did. I have no idea. Because even when you think about what he did in South Africa, he was 20. He was so young. How did he have that? How did he have the nerve to write to Tolstoy at the age of 27 or 26? You know, I think of these. I mean, I just think.
George Bernard Shaw, Einstein.
Yes.
He was communicating. He wrote like he had nothing else to do in life.
Yes. So these things. But anyway, what inspires me about Bapuji is not all this. What inspires me about him is, and not even, you know, non-violent people talk about ahimsa and, well, loosely translated is non-violence, but ahimsa is such a deep philosophy. But how he applied this to everyday life, or how he tried to apply it, and his because the practice of ahimsa is a very lonely and individual practice. It cannot be. It cannot be a collective. It can be a collective, right? Everyone, but you know, it's your own personal relationship with yourself and your conversation with your own conscience constantly, every step, every word you utter, every thought that comes to your mind. That is
no judgment. When you have a judgment, you say, "Hey,
yeah,
that's violence."
Yes. If you're irritated, you say, "Okay, I'm irritated. I better not speak." You know, things like that. Which, I mean, I certainly can't speak for myself. I can't. I don't practice ahimsa, obviously. If no matter if I may try to, but what is really shows his, in my opinion, shows his understanding of, or his desire for a spiritual humanity, you know, was, of course, ahimsa, but that's, in my opinion, a very individual thing. But in a collective level, his concept of guardianship, of trusteeship, where, you know, we are just custodians of whatever we have. Nothing belongs to us, and it's like a relay race. You know, you're given something about him that he knew the future.
When you were Gandhi and he was alive in you today, what do you think Gandhi would be doing today? Let's say if he had to take up one issue, what issue do you think he would take up in this world?
I really don't know. I mean, I can't think for him. He could not have been, what is the word for it? Not prejudged, not preempted. He couldn't be
predicted.
He couldn't be predicted. But definitely I do know one thing, that independence, the way it happened, pained him. And so,
you mean partition?
Partition and everything around him. He saw the injustice in our own societies. Up to now, maybe the enemy was an outside.
No, we were our own.
But we were our own. So he would definitely have fought for the injustices in our own societies. That I am sure about. I would like to tell every young person, think for yourself. Yeah, just use your brain. God has given you brains. Use it. Think for yourself. I would say that.
And my suspicion when you said think for yourself is not just this thinking like this.
Yes, it's not intellectual. No.
It's also
yes,
reaching in and looking in and saying, what is my truth inside me?
Yes.
I get that. It's beautiful.
Because we don't know what the future holds. We don't know. We really don't know.